John, I'm sitting next to the famous guy. Just about the Coach of the Year award as well and how it works into it. You've been to so many Final Fours now, but with the undefeated record looming over you, how different has this Final Four been in how you've had to treat the team as they're coming in here?
Every team, Jim, that you coach is different. And my first team when I was at UMass, we really had backed up. And we're trying to keep them loose. It was our first time, school's first time. Probably didn't do as good a job as I needed to because of that. I mean, our practices were an hour. When we went back and at Memphis, that team had a spirit about them that they wanted to go, but we did back off some, but not as much as we did. This year's team, I mean, we had 2 vicious practices, Tuesday and Wednesday, and I mean, I was on them like it was December. This is a team that wants to go at each other, and our advantage is that we have a lot of guys. So when we scrimmage, that you really benefit by that, and they want to. They don't want to do drills. This is not a drill team. Stop the drills, throw the ball up. And then they go after each other. They argue every call. They fight the whole, and I have to blow, stop it. I'm saying that 5 times a practice. So we went at it. We're basically done now. I feel that, we've done what we're supposed to do with this team, but you never know. I'll probably, after it's over, say, I wish I wouldn't have gone so hard,
Back over here.
Mike DeCourcy from Sporting News. John, obviously you've had to learn to trust freshmen a lot over the last several years, but it seems to me that you have a level of trust in Tyler Ulus that is uncommon, even for your circumstance. Can you explain what it is about him that inspires so much trust?
Well, I've had other freshmen that I've really trusted, like really, really said, I'm with you. I've had guys tell me, calm down, I got this, and then I calm down and I sit down and let them do their thing. With Tyler, he's going to bring it. He's going to go as hard as he can. He doesn't always play great, but he brings it. The second thing he's playing for his team. I've got to get him to score more like I did Derrick Rose. Derrick Rose, his inclination was create for his teammate and make everybody happy. Tyler from Chicago is like the same. I mean, like the shot in the corner against Notre Dame, he posted it, it came back, he reposted it. Kenny and I at the same time, you let that thing go, you let it go, and it came back to him and he made that 3, which basically kept us in the game. But he's been injured now. He's been injured for months now with shin splints, so but he knows if he doesn't practice, I'm not playing him, so he figures it out.
Right here in the front.
Matt Norlander, CBSSports.com. John, the 4 best big men in college basketball are here, all projected lottery picks. Is that coincidence or a culmination? I know how important big guys are, and I'm proud of our 2. I mean, you think of how far Carl has come in a year. It's ridiculous. But how far Willie has come in his career is truly ridiculous too. But at this time of the year and in college basketball, guard play is vital. And for us right now, Andrew and Aaron, Devin and Tyler, but Andrew and Aaron are doing what they did a year ago, which is dragging our team. The good news for those 2, if they're not all on point, you got Tyler and you got Devin. But our big guys and the big guys of the other team, they give you a presence around the goal. We scored against Notre Dame for 9 straight minutes because we threw it to the post every single time. That would have never happened if we didn't have a post player like Carl.
Right straight back here.
John, Dan Uthman from USA Today Sports. How important is it for you to connect your current players at Kentucky with your past players at Kentucky?
I don't have to do that. Those kids do it themselves. I mean, our former players are in touch with our players, are in touch with our staff. I get the texts and the calls and the, they know over All-Star break if they're not playing, they stop in. In the summers, they always will pass through. It's been a great thing to see how they help each other and talk to one another. Anthony Davis sat down with Carl, basically told him, "Hey kid, you better step on the gas here." And he came in and talked to him about it. It's been fun being a part of this family, knowing that they've benefited by the experience of being at Kentucky, and they give back. They give back in a lot of ways, but they give back to each other.
Right over here.
Daniel Powers, the pennant. What is the biggest challenge when coming back to the Final Four, other than the opponent you'll be competing against?
Tickets. You want me to say something else? I mean, that's the challenge is staying away from that, getting your players to stay away from it. This year, and again, this is the 6th Final Four I've been in, this ticket is ridiculous, more than any other. Well, take that back. We were in the Meadowlands with Kentucky and Syracuse and Mississippi State. That was a ridiculous ticket, too, back in the day.
Right here in front.
Noah Kozlov, Cinesport. Bo Ryan said that he remembers you going back to the 5-star camps when he was there and you were doing your thing there. What do you remember about Bo then, and also early memories of the other two coaches here?
Well, my respect for all three of these guys. I've talked about Bo. See, Bo was one of those guys as an assistant you always looked at because he was a class act. He did his job. He was into coaching. He's a basketball Benny. He speaks his mind. He doesn't hold back. He speaks his mind. He goes to Division III, which most guys would not do, and he goes undefeated a couple seasons, win national championships. So then he goes to Wisconsin, and everybody says, you can't have a division. He's not. He's a coach. He's a basketball Benny. He's into the game, and he's done the same. And every time I see him, we just go spend time. He's from Chester. I'm from Coriopolis, Moon Township. I mean, you're talking the same kind of upbringing and all those things, and so we become close. Tommy and I, we've gone through this at the same stages, and I mean, he's a guy that I always, throughout the year, I'll call him if I have issues, something happening. If I see something good happening for him, he knows I'm on the phone for him. And we compete, but we don't compete. In other words, I don't see him, I got to beat Tom and be better. I want him to do everything, win national titles. He knew I was happy they went to the Final Four this year. He knew. And I called him. He said, I know you're happy. And everybody, because he beat Louisville. No, I'm happy for Tom. Well, that too, maybe. I don't know. But I was happy for Tom that he got that team and brought them together when they struggled. And then I've said about Coach K, I respect what he's done in coaching. I respect what he's done over decades. I respect the numbers, which are jaw-dropping. But what moves me is what he's done for mine. USA Basketball with, first of all, Derrick Rose, went from figuring it out, getting better, to MVP. You had Anthony Davis. He went from, what am I, who am I, to I'm as good as anybody, to All-Star, to gold medal winner. I begged he and Jerry Colangelo, please, the difference you will make for DeMarcus is going to be, you will take his career, you will save another. And they kept him on that team, and look what happened for DeMarcus. He's an all-star. He's a 2020 machine. I mean, he's ridiculous. But what he's done for mine, that moves me. And I've told him publicly and I've told him privately how much I appreciate what he's done for my kids.
Right back here.
Paula Bovin, Arizona Republic. John, you are the pup, I guess, of these coaches, the youngest of the four.
We're old then? This is an old crew, if I'm the youngest of the four.
That's a nice way to put it. No, I just wondered if you guys have all been so accomplished, successful, how have you prevented burnout, and is there room for hobbies in your business when you're taking so much time in basketball?
What are you saying, hobbies?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I don't live and die with this stuff. The people that know me know I have other interests. I'm focused on helping these kids reach their dreams. Their dreams are my dreams. I sit on the same side of the table as them and their families. Want to win for the university I work for, want to win for the program. But the reality of it is our season ends June 28th here. That's when our season's over. And that makes this different, for me anyway. It makes it different. And, you know, whether I'm with my family, I like to travel, I like to go to baseball games, I like to go to football camps, I like to go to different events and hang out, and I love being with my friends, big dinners. That's who I am, what I do. My wife's not always happy, where are you? But
Right over here.
Mike McCaff, ESPN. Obviously, Coach, you knew the pressure that this team would face. How much have you emphasized just avoiding distractions and drama that, you know, can hurt teams as they face pressure like that?
we're concerned about us, to be honest with you. And I talked to them last night again. We have one job, and individually it's be the best version of yourself. Get yourself mentally and physically prepared to be your best. We have to play at our best. That's the best we can do. I can't ask them for anything else. I told them I don't know the outcome. I can't promise you the outcome. But I do know our chances are best if you're the best version of you and we're at our best as a team. I said, things are going to go crazy. We'll adjust. We've done it all year. I said, if I can count on you for effort, you can count on us for adjustments. So.
Right here.
Hi, Coach. JoJo Gentry with Butler University. How would you describe the evolution of Trey Lyles from the time that you got him to current day?
Well, he was injured this summer. He didn't get to play with us in the Bahamas. So the way this played out, which really for him personally was ideal, when Willie came back, Trey was going to have to play 3 because I had to play other people. Trey is probably a 4-3. Trey professionally will be a 4, stretch 4. He's playing 3 for us. He's playing like a small forward guard. It's helped him become a better defender. You get to see his post game against players that, you know, he's 6'10". But then he got sick and he was out 3 weeks. Good news is he did not lose weight, which we were fearful of. So when he came back about 80%, and he's worked his way back. He's the X factor for our team. He did not play well against Notre Dame, and he knows it. Matter of fact, no, I won't say that. He didn't play well against Notre Dame. Now, he's our X factor. He's that one guy that's hard to guard, that can make plays, can rebound, can play big, and makes us a really, really big team. 7 foot, 6'10", 6'6", 6'6". Makes us really big.
Right here.
John, Corey Elliott, National Sports Journalism Center. The Elite Eight game at the end, when the final horn sounded, your guys ran into the floor and embraced each other like they made it to the Final Four and they weren't supposed to be here. Is that a mentality that they've created on their own or embraced to avoid the going undefeated and all the pressures that come with it? Is that something you've brought on to the team?
They're kids. They're 18 and 19-year-old kids. And for Carl Towns and those other freshmen, they had never been to a Final Four. The other guys had been there, but, you know, it was a hard game. We were lucky to win. And so you saw their joy. You know, people said, I can't remember if we didn't cut down nets somewhere or a conference tournament. We forgot. It was known like, oh, they're not enjoying the moment. No, we forgot. But I wanted them to enjoy the moment. It's a great accomplishment. I mean, getting to the Final Four is really, really hard. And to be able to do it, I don't care what your record is, because everybody is 0-0 right now. Whether you're Duke, Michigan State, Wisconsin, or us, everybody's record is the same. We're all feeling the same thing. We all want to win a national title. So you have 2 losses, 6 losses, 0 losses, 11 losses, 8, doesn't matter. And that's why for us right now, let's just be at our best. If that's not good enough, I'll deal with the results.
Right back here.
John Brady McCullough from the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette. I'm sure you don't spend a lot of time thinking about awards, but you've had a lot of great teams over the years, and this is the first time I believe you've gotten a National Coach of the Year award from writer voters here or the USBWA. I'm curious if you're surprised that you got this, and do you think it maybe indicates that there's a change in perception about you as a coach?
I don't know. I mean, you'd have to tell me. I know this, I'm the same guy I've always been. Well, not really. A lot of things change as you get older, but my heart's the same. My friends are the same. My approach to things are the same. Hopefully I've matured and grown up a little bit. That's questionable also, I hear. Yeah, look, I always say this, the reason I'm not worried about now and how I'm evaluated or legacy stuff, it doesn't matter. 50 years from now, when we're all gone, people will look back without emotion and say, what has he done? What did he do for people? What did he do for the universities? Not just me, all coaches. And your legacy is, how did he benefit these people, these families? And did they benefit by that connection? Doesn't matter what I say now. It's, 50 years from now, people will look back and either like what we did or not.
Right over here.
Taylor Zarzer, Sirius XM. Coach K recently on his radio show had Charles Barkley on, and both of them seemed to suggest that college kids and young pros all want to be rich and famous. Not all of them want to do what it takes to win, aren't as competitive maybe as players used to be. Would you agree with that? And would you say your team is unique in that it seems all of them are so competitive?
Well, here's, you have to understand, one, where the kids come from. I'm not saying they're all poor, but many of them they struggled. Their family needs to breathe. They finally get a chance to breathe in life, to put their toes up. When kids go to the NBA, their first thing is, they're not thinking about winning, and it's not about money. It's about establishing who they are. Then they worry about winning. That was every pro, and that was always. Maybe Magic, because he stepped into a team that had 3 other Hall of Famers, and maybe Magic is just a different soul, and I believe he is. He's a great guy. But most guys went into the league. Michael scored 40, and he figured out this isn't going to win me a championship, and he went back. And he said, I'll score less, I'll defend more, and we'll win championships. And all of a sudden, he's the best player in the history of our game, or arguably. But I think the kids nowadays are the same. Look, Anthony's trying to establish himself. So is John. They want to win, but they need to be established. After they're established as players, the whole focus becomes winning. It's not about money then. It's not about how many points. So I think in a way, you may say yes. Now, the money's different. I mean, the money is different. And as a coach, I try to respect that. These kids have a genius just like anyone else on our college campuses who can leave and go start a business and become Twitter, become Bill Gates, become Steve Jobs. They're no different. And it's not size and athleticism. If they didn't have a mind, there's no way they're going to make $250 million. You have to have the mind for it too. These kids have a genius. And we try to respect that. I mean, I'm not going to hold a kid back. I'm not going to tell him you're bad for wanting to chase your dream. And I tell them all, you can always come back and finish. You have a spot on this university, and we'll pay for it. Go chase your dreams. We're here for you.
Right back here, Nancy.
Nancy Armour, USA Today Sports. Kind of following up on that, Cal. You take a lot of criticism for the one and dones, but you're not the only one who's doing it. So why do you think you're the lightning rod for it? Because
I got a big nose. I don't know. I mean, but it's not my rule. It's the NBA and the Players Association. Now, what we need to do is control what we can control as far as the NCAA and college basketball, which means don't put up roadblocks that encourage kids to leave if they're not ready. Don't have them pay for their own disability insurance and no, I got a $50,000 debt. If I stay another year, it's $100,000. Don't do that to him. If a kid chooses to stay because he really loves college, but he's worried about his draft position moving drastically, then maybe the NBA should pay for their loss of value insurance so they can be encouraged to, if you really want to stay, stay. Understand, if we can get kids to stay 2 years and 2 summers, they're a little than a year away from a college degree, maybe a year and a half. Why wouldn't we want that? Why wouldn't we do stipends? How about this thought? How about parents being able to get a loan versus future earnings? What's the problem? Their son's going to be worth $25 million. Let them get a loan for future, based on future earnings, maybe through the NBA. Let the NBA do it. Now, you're not pushing kids out the door. I don't ask kids to stay and I don't tell them to leave. I'll give them my opinion, and if they say, I want to stay and I believe they should leave, they better tell me why. Patrick Patterson said, 1, I'm going to graduate in 3 years. 2, I've never played in an NCAA tournament. And 3, you're going to move me away from the basket and teach me how to play basketball. I said, welcome back. Those were good reasons. Don't tell me, well, coach, you can improve my free throw shooting. Stop. They can do that up there. You're the 7th pick of the draft. You got to do it. Nothing would hurt me more than a young man coming back and moving in the wrong direction in the draft or getting hurt and something happening. I couldn't live with myself.
We're going to stop momentarily and bring the Kentucky players up to join us. And while we wait, let's just go ahead. Let's back here in the corner.
Chris Gasper, Boston Globe. Cal, sort of piggybacking off that last question, given the success that you've had, the graduation numbers you mentioned yesterday, why do you think that for many you're still a polarizing figure in college basketball? Why don't they just embrace the success?
I don't know if I am as much as you want to portray it. Maybe I am. It's not that I'm trying to be, but here's my focus. I'm not focused on changing people's mind who don't know me, their opinion of me. I'm doing my job for these kids. If you like that, I'm happy. If you don't like that or don't like that kids, that's your problem, not mine. I'm not doing this to please everybody. I'm doing this to please these young people and their families. That's my mission. Now, as that plays out in the next 50 years, maybe I was wrong doing it this way, being about players first. Maybe I'm not wrong about doing this, and we start moving in a direction to do more for these kids and help them and make sure we're based on them. Not program. The program will be here 50 years from now. Kentucky's program will be right here where I'm sitting 50 years from now. But what we do for these kids changed their whole lives in the direction, and that's how I look at this.